Hey guys, welcome to another TFT video. In this one, we are doing something very special. A lot of people have reached out to me asking me for an ultimate set 9 3-star 5 cost guide. So that is exactly what we're gonna be doing today. Before I get into it, I just want to make it super clear. This is not a guide on how to play an ideal TFT, how to reach the highest possible rank. This is none of that. This is how to have fun and how to 3-star 5 costs. Or at least that's fun for me. So that's it. With that being said, boys, let's get into it. So for the first time in TFT history, the game actually begins before the game even begins, if that makes any sense. And what I mean by that, of course, are the new introduction of legends. Let me just make my webcam a little smaller so you can all see. Legends, boys, there we go. Let's dive into it. What are legends? Legends are essentially a type of a hero augment that we used to have in set 8, except they're a lot better. They're easier to control. It's easier to control what you're gonna get. They're probably one of the best additions they've ever added to the game. Big props to Mordok and his team. Amazing, amazing design. With that being said, which legend should you pick? Well, boys, there are only 2 viable options. Or not viable, but 2 of the options are Giga, Ultra, Mega S tier. It's not even comparable. It is not even remotely close. And of course, I'm talking about the Aurelion Sol and the Tahm Kench. I'm just gonna dive into the pros and cons of both of each so you can hopefully decide which one is gonna work best for you. Let's start with the Aurelion Sol. If you are new to the game, if you don't really know what you're doing yet, if you're having trouble following my strategy when you're watching my videos, hopefully you're watching my videos, if you do, much love, right? You should always, or not always, but you should really consider playing the Aurelion Sol. It is going to be much easier. It's going to be so much easier. You're going to have, the Aurelion Sol is the easy version. That's the simple way to put it. Why is it that easy? Why is it easier? Well, when you 3-star 5 costs, you never ever want to roll before level 9. There are a few exceptions, which we're going to be getting into in a bit. But generally speaking, if you have to roll, you lose. You're probably not going to hit anything. You don't want to do it. So how do you make a strong board? Well, one thing is you can high roll. You can get very lucky. You have to obviously play specific stuff. But the more consistent thing is you just have to play many units. And that's where Aurelion Sol shines. So the basic augments, or the augments that you get with Aurelion Sol, are going to make you so you can level a lot faster without dropping below 50 gold. You're not going to be losing econ, but you're going to be leveling very fast, which is going to mean you're going to be able to play more units, and more units are going to make you stronger, meaning you're going to be less likely to bleed out. So if you're looking for a safe option, always, and I mean always, take the Aurelion Sol. It is great. It is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Once you master the Aurelion Sol, you can move into the big boy league. I don't know if it's a big boy league, but it's the other best possible option. And the main reason Tahm Kench is so incredibly good. There is one downside to Tahm Kench, and I'm just gonna be going between them for a little bit. The biggest downside of Tahm Kench is gonna be the silver augment, which is AFK. I hate AFK. It's not good. I despise it. So if you get that, well, that's unfortunate. I guess I would still take it, but it's not that great. Other than that, you can get the Rich Get Richer, which is amazing, and you can get the Hatch Found. But there is a problem with these augments. And that is, of course, usually how you would play the game is you would rush 50 gold, and then you would level down to 50, level down to 50, level down to 50 gold. And you would eventually get the levels. And that would be great. But the problem there is that if you have a very weak board and you're playing an augment like Rich Get Richer and Hatch Found, where you want to take advantage of it. You always want to take advantage of your augments. So if you get a Hatch Found, you always want to get 100 gold. That's what you want to do. Get hedge found at 2-1, rush 100 gold. So what's that gonna do is it's gonna make it, you're gonna be leveling a lot later than you would normally. And you're gonna be leveling much later than compared to with the Aurelian Soul, obviously. So if you're not really, if your game sense is not yet there, it's gonna be very hard. You're gonna be bleeding out a lot. You're gonna be risking a lot, and if you are gonna be dying, then obviously you have no choice but to either lose the game or roll, which are pretty much the same thing. So you don't want that. But if you can get a strong start, if you can take full advantage of your reach get reacher and the hedge found, one or the other, it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so incredibly good. Other than these two, Tahm Kench is gonna be giving you a lot of gold. And that's the other thing. You're going to be getting a lot of gold from Tahm Kench, a little bit more than from Aurelian Soul, but it's always the risk of bleeding out. Because you're going to be getting gold, and then you're going to have to wait a few rounds to get the remaining part of the gold. You get the 50-50, so let's say at 3-2 or at 4-2, you get money, or whatever it gives you. So you're going to get half of the gold, and then you're going to have to wait for a couple of rounds, and then you're going to get the second half of the gold. So again, if you are struggling, if you're bleeding out, well, that's going to be a little annoying. That's going to be a little annoying. While with the Aurelian Soul, yes, you're going to get like slightly less gold. They nerfed Tahm Kench as well, so Aurelian Soul is even better now. Tahm Kench is still going to give you just a teeny tiny bit more gold, but with Aurelian, you can level instantly. You'll get all the gold instantly. You'll get the XP and the gold, and XP is essentially gold. So you will be able to level instantly, just roll down, get a Heimerdinger as fast as possible, pop the items on him, and start making gold, which is what you want to do. The whole point of everything is to rush late game, but we'll get into that. We'll get into that. Right. So to summarize, the safe option is Aurelian Soul. This is my favorite option. I would recommend this to everyone that is new to the game or is trying this strategy out. You can still bleed out, of course, but it's going to be a lot less confusing. It's going to be a lot less stressful. It's going to be more fun. But when you get the hang of it, Tahm Kench is like, okay, so yeah, the pro of Tahm Kench. Why is it even good? Why am I even... I'm just trashing on it for now. If you get the hedge found, especially the hedge found, and you somehow, I mean, it's not that hard. You can very consistently get into the late game with Tahm Kench. You just gotta know what you're doing. You just gotta build up the game sense. So once you reach the late game, once you make a team, even if you roll down to 0, you get the Beast Heimerdinger or whatever, you're gonna be able to go back to 100 gold, hopefully. And then you're gonna be getting so much gold. The amount of value that you can get with Tahm Kench is absurd. It's actually absurd. And then you can just do the most satisfying roll down, like 150 gold. Just do a massive roll down, hit everything, and just it's amazing. It's really good. When you can't really do that with Aurelian Soul. And the other thing is, if you're playing Hedge Found or Rich Get Richer, you're also gonna be getting to level 9, ideally with 70 gold. 70 or 100 gold. So it's gonna be more likely that you actually hit the units that you need. And by that I mean a Heimerdinger. We'll get into him in a bit. Right, so what are the other options? Are there any other options other than the Aurelian Soul and the Tahm Kench? Well, yes. You can play the Draven. The Draven is kind of I don't know, it's definitely not nearly as good as any of these two, but he is, it's a little bit of fun. It's not horrible. I'll put it that way. It's not horrible. You get some decent value out of his augments in the late game, but generally speaking, it's not gonna be. If these two are like S+++ tier, Draven is like A tier, and then you have the other option, which is gonna be the Lee Sin. And the Lee Sin, from what I've played so far, feels like it just feels like a slightly worse Draven. It's not, I wouldn't recommend it. you can play around with it. There is a strategy that you can do, but it's not. It's more for, I don't know, more for me when I make videos, so I can, I don't know, clickbait more stuff. But if you really wanna just focus on getting as many 3-star 5 costs as possible, just pick one of these two. Ignore the others. You really don't need them. I mean, this useless. This, I'm gonna get into this guy in a second. All the other ones are not even worthy of talking about. So Earth, that's the last one that you might want to consider, but it has a very, it's only good in one particular scenario, and that's Piltovers. That is Piltovers. If you really want to play the Piltovers and you get lucky enough to get them at 3-2 or 3-2, 2-1. If you know what, F it. I'm just gonna talk about I might actually talk about this in a second. I want to talk about something else first. Right, so Earth, if you want to play the Piltovers, but that is very, very, very inconsistent. So, you know what, just don't take it. Just don't take it. It's not for beginners. Not for beginners at all. Right, boys, let us move on. So you have picked your legend, you have found a match, you are in a game. What's next? Well, then you are confronted with this. The portals. The second amazing edition of TFT Set 9. So, which portal do I go for? Let's get into that. So, of course, you have numerous different portals. I'm just gonna go through all of them, or at least the ones that you need to be I'm gonna go through the ones that you need to be running at. You need to go into that portal instantly, and then I'm gonna be ranking them a little bit. There are only 2 portals that are, again, like super mega giga S tier, and then you have some, maybe S tier and then like A, B, stuff like that. Let's get into it. Bandle City. You'll have Bandle Cafeteria. Basically, you get a spatula. Nah, it's bad. That's I don't like it. It's bad. It's meh. Scuffle or Scuttle Puddle. So that's basically gonna make it that you can't be losing on the wolves on this, which shouldn't be a problem. If that's a problem for you, not good. Not good. Maybe I should make a slightly different guide for you. But the main thing that you're gonna get from this is a little bit of extra gold. It's not amazing. I would say this is like a B tier. It's meh. It's meh. It's not. It's just a little bit of extra gold. Moving on. Yordle portals. Right. This is gonna be one of the better ones. It's gonna give you a lot of gold. Other than that, when you get to the late game, you're gonna be getting 5 costs. So this is going to be dropping 5 costs all over the place. Maybe not all over the place, but 2 per stage, which is really good. The problem with this is the 5 costs are random. So it's like, you can luck out. You can luck out, but at the very least, you're going to be getting some gold. I would prefer Yordle portals over the other 2. It's the best of the Bandle City. Yeah, okay, let me just compose for a second. I've never done a video like this before. It's it's interesting, right? So then we have the Yumi's Zoom. Useless, skipping that. Demacia. So the only one in the Bandle City that you gotta be kind of aware of is the Yordle portals. If you see that, you run. If you see this one, let's go through the other ones. Demacia. Well, that's probably the worst one. Demacia, horrendous. Every time I see that, it's bad. It's really bad. So this one, House, Light Shield, gain a powerful crown of Demacia, and basically you pop that on a unit, you buff it a little bit, and if it dies, you lose the fight. Whenever I see that, I just surrender instantly, or I just don't want to play. You won't see this thing in any of my videos. It's horrendous. By far the worst one that you can get. I don't want to touch that. So if you see that, you better pray nobody takes it, because it's really bad. Why is it so bad? Well, a lot of people are gonna play that on. I mean, most people are gonna play it on a carry that is in the backline, but still, like, it sucks. In the late game, especially when you're farming them with the Heimerdinger, and let's say you kill the unit and there's still like 5 units alive, it's bad. It's just, it makes the game just unfun to play, at least personally. You're going to be losing a ton of gold in the late game. So if you see this, just go, just run. So House Light Shield, F tier, just disgusting. Right, moving on, we have the Petricide Forest or whatever. Just, that basically does nothing. It just makes your units big and gives them a little bit of HP. That's fancy nothing. So moving on. Failured. Right, this is a little better. So the only good one here is going to be the Hard Home, which essentially gives you a radiant version of one of your items. Obviously, you're always going to want to use this on a Rage Blade. We're gonna get into the gameplay and the items in a second, but you always want to be building a Rage Blade, and then if you do get that, you want to use this on a Rage Blade to make a Radiant Rage Blade, and that is gonna be a potential boost in gold. So not bad. I mean, this one, I would say this one is about as good as like a Scuffle Puddle, a little worse than Yordle Portals. So let's put this in like a B tier and move on. Right, Oran's Forge, we're gonna be skipping that one. Oran artifacts are completely useless in my strategy. Just meh, just really bad. I don't know, just useless. Right, moving on, we have Ionia. There are a couple of decent ones here, maybe. Actually, there is one decent one. So we have God Willow's Groove. A spot on your bench becomes the groove. The unit in it contributes their traits as though they were in your army. I don't know. This one I'm not a fan of. It's bad. I don't like it. I've tried it a few times. I thought it could work with Piltovers, but it doesn't. It doesn't, because you can't get an extra one. It's a weird portal, but I personally don't like it. I would say this is like a B tier. I would never take it. It's just kind of bad. Don't go for this. It's bad. Moving on. Right. The Dreaming Pool. At the start of each stage, gain a champ that fits your current team. This one, on the other hand, can be very, very good. Especially if you're playing a specific comp, obviously. So I used to play this a lot when the set came out, and I was still figuring out, okay, so what is the strat that I want to do? What is the ideal comp that I want to play? So I would only play like the best possible comps that, I Googled. I'm going to show you that in a second. And let's say I play the Voice, and I only go for Scions and Belvets. So I know I'm going to be getting a guaranteed double Belvet from the Dreaming Pool. It's a good one. It's not that great now, and it's not that great in my strategy. So this used to be like an A+ tier at the beginning of the patch or the set, but now I would rank this in like I would rank it like A-, maybe B+. It's not great, but if there's nothing better, take it. And then for the last one, we have the Placidium Library or whatever this is. Basically, it gives you a trait. It gives you an emblem that you want. So you get an emblem that you want, which could be really good. This would have a lot of potential if they gave you this sooner. If they, for an example, gave you this at 3-2 and you were playing Piltovers and you could get 6 Piltovers at like 3-2, maybe even 3-3. That would be really, really good. But that's the only situation. That's the only situation where this could be good. When you get Piltovers at 2-1 and you're throwing every single fight, you have your T-Hex with like 35 stacks, you're on a 7-loss win streak, and at that point, or whatever, at that point you get this at like 3-2, you are still like 50, 55, maybe 60 HP, you're chilling, you get the 6 Piltovers, and then you get the massive 100 plus stack T-Hex. That would be the only time this would be good. But unfortunately, they give you this BS at 3-5, and when you're playing Piltovers correctly and you are on stage 3-5, you're gonna be on your last health most of the time. 90% of the time, you're gonna be at like 20 to 30 HP, and at that point, you want to win. You want to win, and it's not really worth putting 6 Piltovers in at that point just to get like one extra loss. It's just not worth it. I don't like it. If they change this to make it that you get faster, so you could actually abuse it with Piltovers, then this would probably be like an A+, but for now I'm gonna pop this in a B tier. Never take that. Right, Noxus. Both of these, I'm not even gonna read them. If you see Noxus, stay away from it. Both of these are useless. They're not econ related. They're not econ related. I don't like them. I never take them, so skip over those. Moving on. Piltover. Now this is gonna be juicy. Piltover has the best. By far the best. Or not by far. There's one other one that is equal, but generally speaking, if you see Piltover, you run in it. And then pray that it's not this one. If it's still Waterhold, Mordok, I know you're not watching this. Or if you are, please, I love you, but please remove this from the game. I've never seen anyone take it. I always get so hyped when I see the juicy Piltover portal, and then if it's still Waterhold, I just cry. I really do. Please, just what? I don't know. So this one is Giga Mega F tier. Never ever obviously take that. But then we have the good ones. Jace's Workshop. Oh baby. Oh baby. It's yeah, this is by far my favorite portal in the game. You know how much I love prismatic augments. They are the best thing in the game. Especially if you're gonna be playing the Asol and the Tom Kinch. You're gonna be the game is just so amazing. It's gonna be the best game you're ever gonna have. If you see Jace's Workshop, you better run, you better ping, you better beg people, you better send them some money on PayPal or something. You want people to get into that portal. It is insane. There's only one downside. There is only one downside. And that is when there's going to be a triple prismatic augment in a single game, people are likely going to be getting the Cursed Crown. And that brings me to my second thing. Mordok, please, I love you. Please remove the Cursed Crown. It's the worst augment in the game. I hate it so much. I really do. I hate it. Right. If somebody gets Cursed Crown and they know what they're doing, they can ruin your game like this. I don't know if I want to get into that today, but Cursed Crown, you'll see. If you ever encounter it, you will see why I hate it so much. But right, other than that, Jace's Workshop, Giga Mega Ultra S tier, it's amazing. Then we have the University. That's basically the Jace's Workshop, except only the first augment is going to be prismatic, which is not a big deal because when you're playing Aurelian Soul and Tom Kinch, the first augment is always the best. You get Level Up and Hedge Fund, one or the other. Just great. You always want to take that. Unless, I mean, they're the best. Like, I obviously create content, so if I get a birthday present or something like that, I'm gonna take that. That's also very good, but it's not as good. It's not as good as Hedge Fund and Level Up. There we go. So the con obviously is gonna be you're getting one prismatic augment, but that's also the pro. And why is the pro? Well, it gives your opponents less of a possibility to get the Cursed Crown. Right, obviously. Let's move on. Shadow Isles, both of these are meh. If you do want to go for any of these, this one is going to be the one to go for. It's going to be the 40 souls, the one that you collect souls. So this can give you items, this can give you gold, this can give you good units at the end. This can give you 5 costs. So I don't like it all that much, but it's like in the same tree as like Yordle Portals or Scuffle Puddle. It's like an A-, not great. Not great, but also not horrible. Then Yorick's Graveyard, just meh. Shurima. Boys, Shurima, I'm just gonna pop all of the Shurimas in the A+ tiers. If you don't get the Piltover, or if you don't get the ones that the one that I'm gonna be mentioning in a second, you always want to run for Shurima. Why do you want to run for Shurima? Well, when you play Shurima, you get the Rise. So Rise, the unit, is gonna have different abilities depending on which portal you have chosen in, at the beginning of the game. And by far the best one is gonna be Shurima. Essentially what it does, it summons some tornadoes and it turns into a set 8 ergot. So these tornadoes are gonna be running around and you're gonna be getting a lot of chests, especially when you're 2-star Rise. You're gonna be chests all over the place. You're gonna be picking them up. It's gonna be a lot of extra gold. It's amazing. So that's the main reason. The main reason the Shurima is that good, it's because it makes the best Rise possible. So when you play Shurima, you wanna of course still prioritize them. I'm speaking so much, it's getting kind of hard. One second. I need to do a little check. I need to do a posture check and we'll continue. Ugh! Right, let's continue. So, Shurimas are gonna make your Rise amazing. So if you see Shurima and there is no Jace's Workshop or the thing that we're gonna get into a second, you take Shurima. The best one is gonna be the Warlord's Palace. The other two are just kind of meh. Just meh, they don't do anything, they're only buffing the Rise. But the Warlord's Palace actually does do something. So at 4-7, instead of fighting the Raptors, you're gonna be getting a Warlords, or you're gonna be getting essentially a treasure armory round that we used to have in set 7, where you can get a lot of gold, you can get the specific items that you need, and so on. So when you do get that, you always just wanna, if you don't have a Rage Blade yet, at that point you wanna get a Rage Blade. And if you already have a Rage Blade, you wanna just get as much gold as possible. And on this one, try not to roll too much. Right, so Shurima, all of them are S tier, not S tier, like A tier, moving on. Then we have Targon. We have the first one, not amazing, so Maris, Omeg, whatever this is, avoid this one. It's horrendous. It basically makes it so everyone gets a double Tactician's Crown. So why is this bad? In the late game, if you're playing well, you are gonna be spiking out of control. Once you build up a fully legendary board, you upgrade everything to 2-star, you are gonna be melting everyone. You're gonna be melting. So if you have 2 extra units, that's gonna make the game end a lot quicker. They're gonna be taking more HP or more damage. It's not good. I don't like it. I wouldn't recommend you ever take this. Moving on. Then we have Targon Prime. So when you reach 40 HP, gain a blessing. This one is not like, it's not, I don't like this one. I would again say that this one is on the level of like Scuffle Puddle. It's gonna give you a little bit of extra gold. I've never personally gotten anything crazy out of this. So I don't know. If there's anything better, like the ones that I mentioned earlier, just take those. And then we get the second Mega Ultra Giga S tier portal. And that is, of course, the Summit. Why is the Summit so good? Starting at stage 2, gain a lesser champion duplicator at the start of each stage. On stage 5 and beyond, gain a champion duplicator instead. I don't think I have to explain any further, but I'll still do it. So champion duplicators can be worth 1,000,000 gold. I cannot tell you how many times I've had a game where I'm missing like one unit. I'm missing one Rise, one Heimerdinger. I have 100 gold. I'm rolling. Nothing's happening. I don't hit. I've been, making a video. I've been talking for the past 30 minutes. It's all or nothing. It's all in. I have to hit. It's the last round. And I don't hit. It sucks. It does suck. I mean, it does suck, especially for me, since, again, I create content, but yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun. So having a champion duplicator is just the best feeling. It's an amazing feeling. And this thing will give you at least 2. It's amazing. It's amazing, period. Moving on. So okay, let's just quickly take care of these 2, and then I'm gonna give you a brief, quick thing, review. I don't know. Voids, avoid. All of them are meh. Goddamn. Oh my god. All of the voids one are just, if you get any of the ones that I mentioned, just avoid. They're all bad. Moving on, zone. So we have this thing, Eclipse Vault. Every time you select an augment, gain 4 gold per augment you have. I mean, this one is, again, meh. It gives you a little bit of extra gold, but it's nothing crazy. It's nothing amazing. Just take it if there is nothing better. Glass Industries. Every time you build a completed item, gain 3 gold. That's the same thing, exactly the same thing. Just a little bit of extra gold, nothing crazy. And then you have the Slump. Avoid this with your life. That basically makes it that instead of 5 gold per round, you're going to be making 3 gold per round. Phew, spitable. So, to quickly summarize the portals, always, if you have an option of Jace's Workshop and the Summit, you are going to be running towards them. That's the best two. The second best option is going to be the University. And after that, you want to play Shurima and focus on Rise. That's how I play. Then, as I said, you have a couple other options that are not horrible, but for the most part, that's going to be it. Right, boys. I don't know how long this has been, but as I said, I do want to make this throughout. I want to give you all the information that I have to, have the maximum amount of fun. So let's quickly cover the playstyle, the strategy, what you want to do. So let's open up the team builder. Now there are 2 options that you can take. There are 2 things that you can do. Number 1, you can go on a site like you just Google best TFT comps, and it's gonna give you compositions that are currently performing well. Voids, this is my favorite one. I don't play it because it's S tier. I mean, it's been S tier ever since the set came out, I guess. But that's the one that I would recommend. This is the one that I play 90% of the time. I do switch it up, but I don't switch it up because it's not good. I switch it up because I want to, make stuff a little differently. I don't want people to watch the same video every single time. So I want to, spice things up a little bit. But generally speaking, Voids are so amazing because 2 of the main ones are 1 costs. So you're almost always going to be getting this. And then you can just get the Kassadin. No, that's not a Kassadin. So this will be like just play Voids with the Renekton. So at the beginning, you collect this. You can also collect the Lissandra because it synergizes with Malzahar. So this is going to be your ideal start. Just try to 2-star like some of these units and then hopefully get the Voids. That's going to be by far the best thing. So what do you do later? Then you have a couple of options. So depending on what you get, you can either play Bruisers, so you play a Vi, and then later on you play a Sejuani. But if you don't get the Bruisers, you can always play, and that option is maybe a little better, you can play the Swain, and then you play the Tarek. So you play the Tarek, you play the Vel'Koz, so you have 4 sorcerers. And as I said, the other option is just playing the Bruisers, but I would highly recommend you play the Voids. Then, of course, you're going to be playing the Rek'Sai and so on. So why are the Voids so good? What is the plan? What are you going to be doing throughout the game? Now, it's very hard to describe like the game strategy in a video like this. So if you haven't seen any of my videos, I would greatly encourage you to go and maybe just, study a few of them. Maybe when I hit a lot of stuff, that's going to give you, I always explain what I'm doing. I try to explain what I'm doing as best as I can. So I do think this kind of video is a little bit unnecessary, but I'm still doing it. If you go and just study a couple of my videos, you're going to get a very good idea of, how to play, what to play, and so on. But generally speaking, you always want to you just want to play the Voids, as I said, and then you always want to go for Rage Blades. Just build a Rage Blade after Rage Blade. You want to have 3 Rage Blades. And then let me just quickly. So that's going to be let's move to this again. So your early game, you're going to play this, you're going to play this. These are going to be the first 3 units that you ideally get in. Or this one, just a combination of these. If you get a Kassadin or a, one of these in the early game, great. Just get in the Voids. Hopefully you can 2-star, some of these. That would be amazing. And then you can just play any variation. You're gonna figure it out. You're a big boy or a big girl. You're gonna figure it out. So just play something like this. And then if you're playing Voids, of course, for the main carry, I usually just slam my Rage Blades on a Malzahar or a Vel'Koz, because by the time I get the Kai'Sa, the game is usually already over. So you don't want to depend on the Kai'Sa. Just play, like, Voids are really strong. It's until the, like, early and mid game, if you get lucky with Voids, you should be fine. You should be absolutely fine. And when time comes that you start losing, you're probably going to be at the end game anyway, so it doesn't matter. Right. Let's remove all of these. So how do you... Let me just... Give me a second. Did I cover everything? I feel like I covered everything. So play the Voids. Prioritize Econ. Never roll. Never ever roll before level 9. You'd never want to do that. So... And then... Okay, there's another thing. Let's say you have 9 gold and you're losing. You need to sell a Cho'Gath to make 10 gold. Do you sell or do you not? That's the thing that I was talking about when I'm playing games. You should go and just study a video, because it's really hard to explain. It really depends. It really depends. For the it's tough. It really is tough to explain like this. For the most part, I wouldn't sell if it's a unit that I really need. But if it's a unit that I might play, I will always sell, if that makes sense. And the other thing is, it depends on how good you're doing on health. Let's say you are bleeding out, then obviously you want to prioritize your board a little bit more, and not just go all in on econ. And when you're doing really good on health, you kind of want to sell, some of the stuff that you would need, because again, you're not going to be playing any of this in the late game. I think I kind of covered it. If I didn't, please let me know. And again, for this part of the video, just... If you go and watch like 2 of my videos, you're gonna get a very good idea of what to actually do. So now we are moving into the late game. So late game, there we go. You have been successful, you have not bled out, you have played a good comp. Now you can go level 9, you have taken the correct augments, you're chilling, it's 4-2, you get the last augment, you're playing Aurelion Soul, you get 48 gold, and bam. You are level 9. What now? Well, that depends. First of all, are you playing Aurelion Soul? Did you get level up? I'm just gonna quickly cover that. If you got level up and you're doing good on health, you go 10. You don't do anything, you go 10, save up 50 gold. So you always want to go 10 and 9 with as close to 50 gold as possible, or even more. You want to have about 50 golds to, make a team. But as I said, let's just assume that you didn't get level up, so you don't want to go 10. You can't go 10. What are you gonna do? So all of the voids, all that thing doesn't matter. You go 9, you have 50 gold, and now you roll. First, you want to get these 2, Sejuani and Ashen. Both of these are gonna be great. These are gonna be the only 2 forecasts that you're gonna be playing. Just take these 2, and then we get to the 5 costs. Everything else, you're going to be selling. You're just going to be selling everything. So the main unit, the cream, the reason, just the... I'm getting a little tired. I have to calm down a little bit. I'm barely speaking. I've never spoken so much in my goddamn life. Right. The main unit that the comp revolves around is, of course, the juicy Heimerdinger. Beautiful. So this is the unit that you want. This is why you are building the Rage Blades. So you want to pop in a Heimerdinger. You always want to pop him in one of the sides. I like to put him on the left side. You always want to have the turret in the far right or the far left corner, except if your opponent is playing on Aphelios, then not Aphelios, the other annoying thing, the Ashen. In this case, you might want to, just protect it a little better. And then between the Heimerdinger and his turret, you want to put a Rice. And on a Rice, you want to plop all the other magnifiers that you have gotten, like Ziggs. Again, please just go watch like 2 videos. You'll get a very good idea. So you want to get the Ziggs as well. These are going to be the only items that you're really going to need in the late game. Just Rage Blade, Rage Blade, Rage Blade, and then Ziggs, Ziggs, Ziggs. That would be ideal. So that's what you want to do. Have these two. These are going to be the 4 costs, and then the Heimerdinger. Oh, where did he go? And then the Rice. So then for the front line, you want to have obviously a Scion. You want to have obviously a Keisente. So what else? I always play a Senna as well. Senna, it doesn't synergize with anything, but it's a great unit. I always play the Senna. And after this, it's really up to you what you get. Now, I will usually play Ari, or I mean, so these 3 are going to be the DPS. You have Aatrox, Ari, and Bel'Veth. These are going to be the damage dealers that you don't necessarily want. So what I usually do, I just play like a double Scion or a triple Scion or a double Keisente. I just play as many tanks. So 1 Sejuani, 1 Shen, and then I just pop in like 2 Scions or a double Keisente. But that is if you're doing good on health. If you're not doing good on health, then you do want to get like a 2-star Aatrox. Ideally, you play an Aatrox and a Bel'Veth. That would be, if you're bleeding out, that's the comp. If you're not doing good, if you're starting out, this is the comp that you should go for. But the problem with the Aatrox and the Bel'Veth is that they do a lot of damage. And that's going to make your Heimerdingers make less gold. So of course, with the Heimerdinger, you always want to have a triple Rage Blade, and then you want to have a triple Goldenator. You always only take the Goldenators. Never take anything else. Never, ever, ever take anything else. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what you want to do. And then you get that, and then you just roll. And it's really hard. I cannot give you the exact number of how many rolls you should do. It all depends on how weak/strong you are. If you are weak, so what I like to do, if I'm losing and I don't have a strong front line, if I don't have a Heimerdinger 2-star, I'm going to be donkey rolling every round. Every round. Because you're going to be getting some gold from the Heimerdinger, so just roll it down. It doesn't matter. If you're losing, you have to do that. But once you do get like a Scion 2-star and you get like a defensive item on him, and you get a Keisente 2-star, and you maybe get even a Heimerdinger 2-star, like any of these units, maybe these 2 as well, Sejuani and Shen, when you get your front line buffed up, then you want to start saving up. You want to start saving up, just take all the 5 costs, and that's the other thing. If you want to 3-star as many 5 costs as possible, you obviously want to play as many 3-stars as possible. Or 5 costs. There we go. You want to play as many as possible. That's why we're basically playing all of them. So this is not. So these are gonna always be present. These are always gonna be present, and then the DPS ones, it depends. Let's say you roll down at the start of you go 9, you roll down, you get a triple Ari, or you get 4 Aris. Well, obviously you're gonna be playing an Ari. If you get 0 Aris, but you get 4 Bel'Veths, well, you're gonna be playing a Bel'Veth. It all depends on what you get here. So you always want to play all of these, but for the last 2, you only want to play whatever you get. If you get a lot of tanks, don't bother. Don't bother, just don't play any of them. Just play a double 2-star Scion if you can get that, or just play a bunch of Keisentes, as I said. Tanks are going to be better if you're not dying. If you are dying, then you have no choice but to play some more damage. Right, anything else? Oh yeah. So let's say you have a good board, you've done it, you're playing well, it's round, I don't know, 5-3, 5-2, doesn't matter. You want to start saving up gold. You want to start saving up. So you're just going to be taking all the 5 costs that you get. And that's another thing. That I display this pretty much perfectly, I guess, in every single one of my videos. You'll always see me save up gold until the dragon fight. So I'm going to be saving up the gold until the dragon fight. And after that, the game is usually going to be at like 1, maybe 2 rounds left. So depending on how much health I have at this point, I'm going to be throwing rounds. Let's say that's the other thing. I mean, there is so much to cover. It's insane how much there is to cover. If you have a lot of health, let's say I have like 90 health, and my opponents are at 1 HP, you want to just put all of this out. And that is another thing that's going to come in with game sense. You just want to buy a bunch of 2 costs and garbage and just pop that in. You want to delay the game as long as possible, obviously. But right, that's a little hard. That just comes with game sense. Again, just watch my videos, baby, please. Right, moving on. So you want to go, generally speaking, you want to save up the gold until after the dragon, and then you want to roll down to 0. Just roll everything. And you're going to get a good idea of what you can hit. So you're going to, let's say you have 4 or 5k centes before that, and now you have like 7k centes. Right, so k cent is going to be the one to go. And at this point, what you want to do, you roll down to 0, you see what you get, and then you just got to use your brain. I guess you just got to use your brain. Sell the stuff that you don't have a lot of because it's not happening, and then just try to get the stuff that you need. And that's about it. That's really the strategy. It's not much else. Now, what I personally do, because I mean, if I don't hit a 3-star 5 cost, it doesn't matter to me if I win or not. I would prefer to not win. I would definitely prefer to not win. So what I'll do is I will sell all the other stuff. If I'm missing like 1 or 2, I'm selling everything. I'm selling everything but the unit that I actually need. But that, of course, is up to you. That is up to you if you want to lose the game or not. But that is, boys and girls, generally the strategy. I think I covered it pretty well. If I missed something, please let me know. I don't know how much editing I want to do with this. I hope you were able to understand. I think I explained it somewhat well. If you have any more questions, I'm gonna be reading every single comment on this video. I usually do that with all of my videos. So if you have any other questions, if anything is unclear, I will be answering it. I will be giving you the the best answer that I possibly can, because this, as I said, this was the first of its kind. I've never done a video like this before. I don't know if I'm ever gonna do it again. I'll see how this video does. But yes, this is the guide. This is my guide on how to ideally. This is the best strategy, at least the ones that that I use. I don't think there's a better strategy. So Heimerdinger with a triple Rage Blade, then ideally you get some Zexes, and then you just do this. Just farm gold, roll until you stabilize, and then you save up, and then roll down after the dragon so you get a good idea of what you can hit, and then you sell the stuff that you don't need, and then hit something. It works extremely consistently, especially in lower ranks and normal games. As I said, this kind of strategy is only gonna work until like platinum, maybe very low diamond, but that is if you're a really good player to begin with. For most of you, this is gonna be just for a little bit of fun. And with that being said, I really do hope you enjoyed this one. Please let me know what you think of this thread in the comments. If you have any questions, again, please let me know in the comments. It's been Sunheight. I hope you have a phenomenal rest of your day. I'll see you soon. And bye-bye. Damn, Jesus Christ. Oh my God, I can't even speak.